Hello and welcome to the Street Aesthete channel. Today we are dueling in Geoguessr. We're playing in the Master 2 League, generally trying to get up to Master 1. My rating is 874, so we're going to see if we can increase that rating today. And here's our first opponent from Taiwan. Long dashed white lines on the side of the road, and the landscape very mountainous with this body of water. It's almost certainly Norway, and so I'm going to put us on the west coast, over in the fjords. I suppose we could be a bit further north. We shall find out. Opponent goes further north, and it was indeed, so not a fantastic start there. A big chunk of damage, considering we were in the right country, but it is a rather long country. Next up, looking very much like Europe, I would say. Conserve. Doesn't necessarily confirm the language for us. The sun is really in the north, putting us in the southern hemisphere. It's a tricky one. I'm actually kind of leaning towards the Western Cape in South Africa. I don't know if this is a good idea at all. I have a feeling it might not be, but we shall find out. Opponent goes in Peru, and it was Chile. Or in fact Argentina, right next to the border. So yeah, a bit of a rocky start here. Tumen is to our west and Omsk to our east. So that is definitely going to help us narrow it down. So yeah, we're probably, if we can find a major road, no, we don't really see one. Do we know what the relative distances are? No, we don't have any distance markers. Okay, very nice. Yeah, a little bit of basic deduction there from the sign. Would have put us in between the two, so I'm not sure how the opponent missed that one. We've got the Thai language here. And are there any other clues to help us? It does look, I was going to say it looks rather flat here, but oh no, it's a roof. There are some mountains over there. I suppose what I'm going to do is just put us kind of in the middle of the country, really. Maybe, no, I don't know Thailand terribly well. We'll just put it in the middle. Opponent a little bit further north, and it was just about in our favour there, over in the west, which I was edging towards, but decided not to follow through with. Okay, this looks rather like my own country, but I would say from the architecture here, this whitewashed wall, that this is Ireland. And we look to be on the coast somewhere. We've got water to our north, so I'm going to put us somewhere maybe around here. I suppose we could be further south. It actually does look a bit more southerly, doesn't it? Well, let's see. Opponent has very much the same idea. Oh, and it was the Isle of Man. Well, that makes sense. And in fact, that rather sort of blurry Generation 2 coverage should have tipped us off to the Isle of Man. Okay, looks like the US here. And quite a flat landscape, although a little bit rolling. Rather rural. The US flag just there to confirm it. And so I suppose I'd be thinking about Kansas, Arkansas, Missouri, somewhere around here, I suppose. Opponent goes a bit further north, and yeah, we were in Kansas. So I just about got the right state there, south of Wichita. Good, okay, looks like North America again. And do we have a flag there? I can't quite tell whether that's the Canadian flag or not, or is it the Chilean flag? No, hold on. We've got a maximum 40 sign, so this is indeed Canada. And I'd be thinking about British Columbia or Alberta. Not too far north. Yeah, kind of hedge between the two, I suppose. And opponent goes much further north, and that is enough. We were indeed in, that looks like Alberta, I think, or just on the border of the two territories. And yeah, it's a good start to the video after a slightly ropey start to the duel. And we have increased our rating by 21. We'll see if we can get a bit of a streak going here. So we'll go straight back in and play another game. If you enjoy the music that you hear in this video, then do take a look at my first channel. I'll link to it in the description, which is where I upload all of my original music. And here is our second opponent for the day. It's Linus01 from Germany. Okay, I do think we've got Spanish language here, so I'd be thinking very much about South America, although the sun is in the south, which puts us in the northern hemisphere. I don't think we're in Spain here, so could we be in Colombia? Copyright 23. I was thinking about Panama, but I don't think there's anything quite so mountainous there. Anywhere else this could be? Is this Asia by any chance? No, the architecture is very much looking South American. Have we got any city names or anything like that I've missed out here? Doesn't look like it. Is there any chance also, now that I think about it, that this could be Mexico? I mean, it's certainly possible, but I'm definitely getting the South America more than the North America idea. So I suppose, yeah, I'm going to go in Colombia, kind of in the north. Let's try it out. Opponent goes Peru. Oh, and it was northern Peru. Okay, so it seemed that somehow the sun deceived me on that occasion. And I think with the divided concrete road, this is probably the Philippines, but let's just double check. We look as though we're driving on... This is on the left, but this motorbike that is actually going is on the right, as is this one. So I think the Philippines are probably confirmed. And in which case, I'm going to go with the old trick of just plonking in the middle. And let's see where it is. Opponent does exactly the same thing, and it's just that little bit further north on the island of Mindoro. Is that what this island's called? Or is that just a place on it? I don't know, I'm afraid. Sorry, Filipinos. Elvestadveien. This is looking like Denmark, I would say, although Sweden is also possible. Find it difficult sometimes to distinguish between the languages. My first thought was indeed Denmark. But then, with this yellow road line down the middle, I'm thinking that Sweden might even be more likely. Quite a tough one. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with southern Sweden here, actually. I mean, we won't be too far from Denmark. I suppose I could be a bit cheeky and go in the water in between. I might do that. Opponent goes in Norway. Oh, of course. The language was Norwegian. Wow, I think I really should have been punished a bit more for that, if I'm perfectly honest, but I'm pleased not to have been. Okay, the language is... I was going to say Spanish, and I think that's right. I'm just going to make sure it's not Portuguese. Still not entirely certain. I think it's Spanish, although that is a Portuguese pole, isn't it? And the sun is not really helping us at this moment. In that it's in the middle. Vereador. Oh, I wish I could see something that would just definitely say Portuguese or Spanish either way. Escola mun prof Ervila Sousa de Assis. I don't know, I think it might be Portuguese. Yeah, I think we're probably in Brazil here. The pole and the language, and if we are, I'd say we're in the north. Even over west somewhere. Yeah, I'm between this area and somewhere around here, I suppose. Yeah. Not sure. Let's see. Okay, so in the middle it was Manaus on the River Amazon. Yeah, okay. All fine there. Interestingly, had I hedged between my two ideas, I would have got it. And this, I think, might be Colombia this time. Sun... Yeah, the sun is in the south, so northern hemisphere. Is this Asia, though? Rather than South America? No, I think this is South America, and... yeah, it's making sense for Colombia, but is it not quite... is it not quite densely mountained enough? Could it even be Mexico? Yeah, struggling a little bit with this one. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to my guns here and go with Colombia. Opponent does go Mexico, and it was... oh, it was Asia. Yeah, I had this funny feeling. We were on the island of Borneo there in Indonesia. Yeah, the thought did occur to me, but I didn't run with it. Alright, this looks like a typical Botswana, I would say. And we've got the road running slightly diagonally. So could we be somewhere like this? Is that possible? Yeah, we wouldn't be seeing... that's just a dirt track, isn't it? I don't think that would be displayed as such a major road. In which case, where do we actually think it is? I do sort of think that's the right kind of area, to be honest, so I'm going to put the guess in. Much further north goes the opponent, and it's basically in between us. I think I might even have been on the right road there. Alright. I think we're in Asia, but let's just confirm that. Setangir, yeah. The pole tops here looking very Indonesian with these three insulators. The red soil is a little bit unusual. And it's extremely rural looking. Yeah, this red soil almost makes me think of Cambodia, but we haven't got any Khmer script anywhere, so I think we're probably off with that. And so I'm thinking about somewhere really quite remote, like somewhere on Borneo again. Yeah. Don't have any particularly great ideas here, if I'm honest. We'll go with Central Kalimantan. Opponent is on Sumatra, and it was Sumatra. And that, yeah, that's going to be enough. So a pretty ropey game there on my part. Not really any great guesses. And I would say probably a well-deserved win on the part of our opponent. So we have dropped 18 points there, having previously gained 21. So we're still 3 up as of the start of this video. And we'll play another game. See if we can claw our way back up. The same Taiwanese opponent from our first game, I think on this occasion, that probably merits a wave. South America, I think. Asai, yep, looking like Brazil then. Sun not easily confirming that one way or the other, but the language I do think is Portuguese. And we've got a reasonably large city, but we don't see the huge skyscrapers that you would get everywhere in somewhere like São Paulo. So I suppose I'd be putting us, yeah, somewhere around somewhere around here. Opponent goes a lot further north, and it was a lot further north in, what is that, Macapá, in the state of, what is that? Amapá. Okay, we are in North America, I think, probably Canada. Somewhere pretty far north and pretty remote. Is there any chance, though, that this is Russia? I think it's unusual to see the yellow road lines like that, and I do think that Canada is probably correct. I'm going to put us very far north. Wow, and it was actually Alaska. Yeah, I definitely got the sense of remoteness from it, but I didn't think that the trees looked quite stunted enough for Alaska. Okay. Santo Domingo de los Sachilas. San Jacinto del Bua. Yeah, I don't know if we've got any place names there, but we've certainly got Spanish language, so sun in the north gives us southern hemisphere, Spanish speaking. So what does this look like? Well, we don't see any mountains, but I'm sort of getting something of a Peruvian feel off of it. Oh, Ecuador. Okay, there we go. That was handy. So where is flat in Ecuador? Well, didn't we see Santo Domingo there, in fact? Santo Domingo, yes, we did. Although I think we saw maybe something a bit different. Maybe it's a different town, Santo Domingo de los... Yeah, okay, just outside there. Fine, yep. Spotting the clues fairly late in the round there. I think we may have South America again. Very much reminded with these black chevrons on a yellow background of Colombia. That's my main thought here. But the divided concrete road also does make me think of the Philippines and other places in Asia. I'm kind of thinking of Thailand for some reason, but, well, we'll find out now. Yeah, just between the big cities, I suppose, although we're probably in one of them. Ooh, yep, and it was Indonesia. We were in Sumatra there. The opponent going Philippines, which definitely makes sense as a guess, and I think probably should have been better rewarded for that guess. Okay, I think we're in Africa now. And we've got the white Google van. Very red soil. Would love to see some language. Mobile money. Yes. I suppose I'm thinking of Senegal. I would like to have seen some French around. I was also thinking of West Africa, to be honest. Yeah, I was thinking of Rwanda. The thing was, I saw the lady in the shawl and thought we're probably in a more Arabic-influenced country, which is why I went over in Senegal, but Rwanda was actually my first thought. Oh, and it's a dip there. That's a shame. So we're now down 9 points from where we started. We need to start pulling some wins out here. Let's see if we can make it happen this time. Getting my head in the game, we've got an Italian virtuose. And I think we're in Europe. Ah, we've got the de for stop sign, which puts us in Turkey, and indeed it's very verdant looking, so I'd be putting us somewhere over in the west. Could even be further north, but yeah, not too far outside of Istanbul, I think. Opponent goes a lot further east, and it was in fact in Europe, on the European side of the Bosphorus Straits. Not too far from Greece and Bulgaria there. Europe again, I believe. And I think we've actually got Turkish language there again. And this time I do think we could be a bit further east. It is rather mountainous. Yeah, how far east do we want to go? Yeah, just kind of middle of the north, I suppose. Opponent with a similar guess, which has paid off for him on this occasion. Yeah, middle of the south of Turkey, not far from the Syrian border. And we're driving on the left. in a rather polluted place. And we've got one of the Indian scripts. Quite a distinctive one, I would say, with these features on top. So I could see us being somewhere around here. We'll just get that ready to come back to, but a little bit of exploration. Yeah, interesting actually. It's looking more, kind of more like, Yeah, okay. Forget the script. Let's just have a look around. I suppose we're probably not too far from the capital here, with it being so polluted. Oh, he goes in back. Oh, it was the Bangladesh script. Yeah. Dropped the ball on that one, I'm afraid. It was a distinctive script, but I didn't distinguish it. Okay, we have got, I would say, some Kyrgyzstani coverage here. We've got the reef rack, we've got mountains, snow-capped mountains to our north. So something like this, maybe. Wow, quite a bit further south there. Opponent guesses in the middle of the country. Always a good tactic, really. We're in Europe. We've even got a flag there to help us, which is the Swedish flag. And the architecture is looking very Swedish as well. Freya Bad and Gym. The Freya Bath and Gym. Well, what else can we see here? A lake or a river? Any other clues to read? Svenska kyrkan. Any place names here? Not that I can discern. But it looks, I suppose, rather wealthy. We've got this slatted architecture here, which points me a little bit further north. Better insulated buildings. And it was further south, not too far outside of Stockholm there. Yeah, so I'm usually getting the right country. I'm just making the wrong call on the region. And some beautiful architecture here in what I would say is Malta. Let's see if we can find the road. Vitoria. Where is Malta? Just over here. And we're almost certainly in Valletta. Well, we'll just stick it in there. Can we spot Vitoria at the last moment? Is this Malta though, or are we on one of the islands? The Italian islands? No, it was Malta. And there's Vitoria. Okay, language is Portuguese. We are in Brazil. We've got the Brazilian pole. Let's just check the sun. Sun in the middle. That might have confirmed southern hemisphere for us, although there is of course a little bit of Brazil that's in the northern hemisphere, and I have seen it come up. We seem to be in quite a prosperous area, I would say. So I'm thinking quite a lot further south. Maybe out in the state of São Paulo, Mato Grosso. Yeah, I'm thinking about even I could see us. Yeah, rather red soil. So I think this is the right kind of area. Yes, it was, and it was Mato Grosso do Sul. And that was enough. Yeah, that was a case of a region guess paying off. And luckily Brazil is a country that I'm reasonably good at. Okay, we started the video on 874 and we are now on 876. So we are up. We're up 2 points, but we're up. I'm thinking about what to do next. I'm wondering about maybe playing some NMPZ. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We'll maybe do, depending on how it goes, we'll do 1 or 2 games of NMPZ. And our opponent is a Dutchman, Lennart Hoekstra, and we've got the divided concrete road here, driving on the right, so it's the Philippines, Do I want to go in for the kill on a north or south guess, or do I want to go on the good old safe middle? I think it's the good old safe middle to start us off with. Opponent does the same thing, and it's just that little bit further north. So that worked in my favour ever so slightly on this occasion. Whoa, okay, it's remote. I don't know about these poles. Which continent am I even thinking about? Not at all confident here. I've kind of got South Africa and Botswana on the mind, so I'll try it out. But yeah, equally Argentina and Australia were on the cards in my head, so yeah, that's a big blow there. That's a big blow. Okay. Big palm trees. This red sign, what does that say to us? I think I'm going to have to go with my gut here and put us in Indonesia. I'm thinking about Sumatra. So yeah, let's try it. Opponent goes in Malaysia, and it was Malaysia, just outside of Johor Bahru there. I still think there's a chance that we can lick Leonard. Okay, we are, I think, in North America here. This wooden architecture and the low bungalows kind of says Canada a bit more to me than the US. Yeah. Even a bit further east, yeah. Not loving this guess, if I'm honest. Not loving it at all. At least we're in the same sort of region, and a bit further west would have been good, but yeah, we were actually in Michigan. Okay, now didn't we see a pole just like that in the previous round on some very flat terrain? Yeah, so I think we've got to go South America, but we've got the white road lines. So could this be Chile? Is it ever that flat though in Chile? But it's looking so dry as well. But yeah, I'm sure we saw a pole like this, so the road is kind of a diagonal one. You know, I could see something like that kind of working. That's the wrong angle, actually. It would be the opposite, sort of. Something more like this, or like this. Yeah, I don't love this. Does seem a bit further north, doesn't it? I mean, the only place I think I've ever seen a pole like that was in the round that we had earlier that turned out to be in South America, so I just don't think you go Argentina with white road lines. Opponent is confused. I'm going to slam it in and see what happens. The opponent doesn't have a better idea, so we'll find out. Yeah, we've both gone in the same place, and it was in Argentina, just by the Paraguayan border. So yeah, an unusual round there. At least we both had the same thinking. I thought that our game might be over, but no. Now, lots of infrastructure here that I'm not really familiar with. I'm thinking about Europe, and I'm thinking about Eastern Europe. My very first thought actually was Turkey, but I'm also thinking about Russia, and I could see this turn up somewhere completely different, so yeah, no great ideas here, to be honest. So yeah, I go in Turkey. Won't be surprised if it's Russia and our game is over. Okay, opponent in Bulgaria. Oh, and it was Russia. Down in the Caucasus, just north of Georgia. A tricky round there, but yeah, we were actually kind of in the right sort of region. Ooh, and some beautiful blue sea there. 2023 coverage. A tennis court. This looks very affluent, doesn't it? Sea to the south. I feel as though we're on an island, and this kind of foliage, these trees, I mean, this one here certainly feels quite Pacific to me. So I don't have any strong ideas, but I'm kind of thinking about Guam for whatever reason. So, yeah, suppose I'll try it out. Without at all loving the guess. Oh, and it was... Wow, we were not far from Melbourne there. We were in Australia. Yeah, well, I mean, I got the longitude right, which is unusual. And here we are in Europe, 2022 coverage. Our opponent probably knows what this pole means, which I don't. But yeah, I kind of had Croatia on the mind. It looks quite southerly and pleasant. Oh, and it was Hungary. Hey, okay, and that's a big chunk of damage there. We've finally turned this game around. Although, again, not a fantastic guess. This could only be Australia. And where do you see that kind of coloured soil on the side of the road? Well, I think we're on the east coast. I'm thinking about just outside of Brisbane, I suppose. Yeah. Well, we'll find out. Opponent with a similar idea, oh, and it was West Coast. Yeah, hedging west has paid off for our opponent there. I think we're in the Americas now. Looks like a yellow road line. And seems as though the sun is over here in the west, not really helping us out. Yeah, I have a feeling this is the round when I'm going to come undone. I could see Peru working here, or Bolivia. Ooh, but I could also see Mexico, northern Mexico working. Yeah, the US, in fact. And that's enough. I think I'll offer the GG there to our opponent, although it wasn't delivered. And we've got time for just one more game. We're down at 861, which means that we have dropped 15 points in this video. So if we could get one win in, we could just about claw it back to where we started. So I'm going to play where I'm more confident, which is in no move. And this is going to be the last duel of the video, regardless of the outcome. With our opponent from Norway here, Despicable. I don't wave hello to despicable people. Right off the bat here, it looks like Indonesia to me. Yellow road lines, this sort of architecture. Looks as though we're driving on the left. Yeah. And I'd be thinking about... Yeah, I'm thinking about Borneo. Let's put it in and test the waters. Opponent goes Cambodia. Oh, and it was Cambodia. Yeah, I wonder if there was some Khmer script that I missed there. Not a great start. I keep starting off these duels by taking like half of the damage away in one go. Nkoyani, Ukwi. I mean, this is almost certainly Botswana, isn't it? I wonder if we can spot any of these places. How far zoomed in do we need to be to start seeing this? I wonder. Alright, alright. Going off the landscape, what do we think here? There aren't even any roads there. Not a fantastic idea. Yeah, well, let's see. Opponent pretty much in the same place, and it was way over in the west. Alright, we really need to claw this one back here. Thank goodness we can move around. Parkering om. 100 meters. So parking in 100 meters. That language is surely Scandinavian. Kom okse. But is this... Oh, is that... I think that's a Swedish flag there. And the language was very much feeling like Swedish. Privatområde parkering förbjuden. Okay, so it's just a question really of whereabouts we want to go, and does it feel more southerly or northerly? Feels... I don't know. Just in the middle there, west of Stockholm, I suppose will do. Opponent goes a bit further north, and it was a bit further south, so it wasn't the knockout blow that we were looking for to take a big chunk of the opponent's damage, but it was a blow nonetheless, so I'll take it. Here's where I think we need to consult the sun. The sun is in the middle, doesn't help us. At the moment, I'm not even certain about the continent. Seeing the bike would definitely lean us towards Asia, but yeah, and something about these leaves feels a bit more Asiatic, I suppose. And it kind of feels like we're driving on the left here. Although, hard to tell really. Can we tell from the car we're in? Not really. I've got this idea about southern Thailand, so I'm gonna just try it out, I think. Maybe it's not tropical enough. Well, it's kind of between Indochina and the islands down here, which were the two ideas I had, and yeah, we were on an island just east of Sulawesi there. So not fantastic. Okay. Cabaña San Mateo. The language is Spanish. L'Esperance de Bolivia. Okay, so the country is Bolivia. And we've got a big mountain to our sort of southwest. Looking quite lush as well, so I'm thinking a bit further inland, closer to Santa Cruz de la Sierra. Opponent goes further west, and it was kind of in the middle of the two of us. Oh boy. We need that killer blow. Alright, very lowland looking architecture with this triangular roof. Can we see the copyright? Or can we see a car for that matter? We don't have yellow plates, so I think we can actually rule out the Netherlands here. Yeah, I would like to see the copyright year, 2019, ruling out Germany, which was an idea I had. I'm thinking about Denmark, actually. Although I could see Belgium working as well. I think I might actually like Belgium a bit more for this round than Denmark. Very difficult to say. Yeah, this feels more Belgian to me. It really does. It just feels that bit more like Belgium. The landscape isn't quite rolling enough. And there's this sort of starkness with all this red brick around, so I could see something like this either side of Brussels. I guess because it could be Denmark, I'll hedge to the east. Let's try it. Pardon me while I take a sip of water. Our opponent hasn't guessed, which means we've won, and it was Denmark. It's a shame to have won in such an ignoble fashion, and I think we're just going to have to leave it there because we have gained 5 points in this video. We started on 874 and we end on 879. I will take the victory as it came to me, although I can't say that I've played my very best today, but at least we've made a net gain of ELO today. Thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video. Since you've made it this far, why not subscribe for more Geoguessr and take a look at some of my other channel content where I explore Street View coverage looking for beautiful architecture.